Heck yeah. Well, we've got our affiliates, friends, homies, whatever you feel best calling them. We've got a few of them that we want to give a shout out to that we want you guys to go check out and get some good stuff from. We've got our homies over at Slayer.
Best elk calls I've ever blew, guys. That they're perfection. So
Yes, I could not agree more. I used the crap out of mine this season. And I can promise you I'm going to be getting more. I am going to be getting a bugle tube as well because I may or may not have lost mine during this elk season.
good thing it wasn't the acrylic one.
Yeah.
No,
No, yeah.
I lost every single one of my reeds throughout the season. This is the most I've ever lost reeds, but so maybe that's why I didn't kill an elk during archery, but but they make some dang good ones. The orange one's my favorite. I don't know what name it has, but the orange one is by far my favorite. All
Yeah.
round use. So
No, heck yeah. They are primo calls. I promise you will not regret getting them. And they've got all sorts of other calls as well. They've got a few predator calls, a bunch of duck and goose calls, turkey. A lot of what you'll need, they've got. So go check them out.
yep, and it's all quality, guys. And the elk calls are pretty reasonably priced too, in all
Yeah.
reality. So, yeah, go check them out. But yeah, let's just go into the next one. It's Ready Wise, dude. I don't know how many Ready Wise meals you ate this year, but I cooked up quite a few.
Oh, yeah. And many more to come.
Oh yeah, cold season's coming up, and second season's coming up here soon for you guys, and second and third, and in Colorado, and yeah, they hit the spot on a cold afternoon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
uh,
No, it's going to be pretty nice to have us some really good tasting meals, really easy to make, and at a good price, too.
and they don't destroy you.
No, no, they
So
don't.
that's the biggest issue I've had with meals like that. Is I eat one, I'm like, didn't need no one needed to bring wipes up on the mountain either.
Oh, heck yeah. So go check out ReadyWise. They've got a ton of options for you to pick from. Uh, find your favorites. Find your favorites and keep getting them. Go and check out a bunch of different ones if you want. I've got multiple different ones here at my house right now that I freaking love and I keep getting over and over again.
And if you're in a pinch, they're at Walmart.
Yeah,
So
that's where I
don't
get half of mine.
you're right. So don't don't go looking in the outdoor section. Go looking in the food section. That's the mistake I've made before.
Yep,
But yeah, they're at Walmart, guys. So, but help us out. Use our promo code H&H Pursuit,
yep,
um, and go get you some Ready Rise meals. So
yeah. Another thing you will not regret. And our last one, as we've had them on our podcast before. Our homies over at MAHCO, they've
Dave
continued to
Phelps.
hook us up. They have become friends of ours, and we're very grateful to call them friends and to have them as our affiliates. I used the heck out of my Habit camo this year, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to use the heck out of it the rest of this year. It's
Especially
going to
with tough
be
cold coming.
cold.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some colds coming this upcoming season, and it's going to be nice because the gear I have is really good quality. It's warm, and honestly, it looks pretty dang good too.
Mm-hmm. No, dude, I love my. I just got those new. Um, they're high end, whatever.
The Shadow series.
Shadow series, yes, and they did not disappoint. So for the price, they're solid pants. So you're not gonna regret getting them. They're nice. they're a little bit on the big side, but I'd much rather big than have everything tight and squeezed, especially
Oh,
when you're
heck yeah.
covering miles. So I used to crap out of them during this rifle season here in Wyoming, and they're can't wait to use them the rest of the year. Put them up against the
Oh,
real
yeah.
elk. So
Yeah, and they'll have pretty much anything you're looking for. If you're looking for some cold weather, staying warm type stuff like we've been talking about, they've got it. If you're looking for some hot weather, something to keep you cool during the summer, they've got it. If you're looking for something to help you on the river while you're fishing, they got
mm,
it. If you're looking for something that will look classy as heck on you, they've got it.
they got. If you're looking for work gloves, they got them.
They've got them.
They got everything.
Camping
Everything.
chairs, tents, pretty much anything you will need for your outdoor adventures, they've got.
Yep. Yeah. Anything that you can imagine, they have. So, yeah, go check them out. Hit up our friend Jay Phelps, and he'll he is an amazing guy to work with. So, can't wait to have him on the podcast again. It's gonna happen soon. So,
Heck yeah.
yeah, with
Perfect.
that,
With that,
let's roll on into it.
welcome everyone to the H&H podcast. We've got part two for you. Part two of how our archery season ended, September season, whatever.
September season, early October. I think I go into early October.
I think so. I think
So,
so.
first couple days of it at least.
Yeah.
So,
Now today we're going to give you more so from Colton's perspective. Last time
yeah,
we went for mine, and we decided to cut that podcast into a two-part series. So here we're bringing you part two. This is going to be from Colton's end and how things went
yep.
for him in Wyoming.
Head up north to Wyoming. My first season in Wyoming as a resident. First season in Wyoming at all. And let's just say that tags were filled.
Tags were filled.
Tags were
Uh,
filled.
did
So
not disappoint.
no, nope. So and I held true to what I said, guys. If you listen to the podcast throughout the year, I said I was shooting something monstrous. Was I was shooting a calf for elk. So you guys will get to see what I got.
Boom.
So, but
Heck
no,
yeah.
no, it's a heck of a Wyoming season. With the time I had, it was about as good as you'd make it. So I I was pretty happy with the way things turned out.
Heck yeah.
With that, let's just jump right into it.
Let's go.
Killer. Your last days there have just been killer, dude.
I
They
know.
just keep on getting
And
better.
yeah. So, I mean, next year, that means Dead Bull.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. I'm gonna come down next year. Yeah. That was just
Yeah,
some of the
dude.
funnest elk hunting when I was there, and just listening to this just like sparks
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
It's like crap.
No, that was one of my funnest days of elk hunting ever
Uh-huh.
until this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was nuts. Bugles
No,
all
that's
day,
great.
running into elk everywhere I went. It was so thick, dude. I just couldn't get a shot off.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, that 350 bull is gonna be 370 next year, and you're gonna go slay him.
Heck yeah.
Or that 310 bull is gonna be 350. I mean, or those raghorns are gonna be 6 points. So, oh shoot, no, that's I don't even want to talk about my season after that.
Yeah.
This dang deer head stops hitting me in the head. No, so my season. Let's see. I didn't really get out much before Everly was born. Um, I don't remember if I got after elk. Oh, I did a couple times. Um, I went with my boss and his dad to one of their spots, and called in a cow, came screaming in. I don't remember if I told this last time or not. Um, but
I don't think
we end up
so.
calling in elk, just a calf. Didn't see a bull. I didn't see a bull till the last day of season this year of archery season. It was ridiculous. I got on a bull. I went up twice to this burn that I started hunting. Um, and the first time I went, I just got. I mean, it's a hour and 45 to the spot, and I left at like 3 o'clock or something. I got work early, so I decided just to fly. Flew up there, had like half an hour light left, and it was enough. It was enough, and got a bull, bumped a bull, and a couple cows on the first bench I was on. I didn't know at the time. I just knew I bumped elk. Um, and then heard them bugling and chirping down the bottom, but he never responded. And I went after him a couple times, different times after that, but he never did. I made a big loop one time, like a 4 or 5 mile loop, hitting all the little benches and everything, just trying to bump him, trying to get him going. And got all the way back to the car, and I dropped straight off the car, straight down in the canyon, and then did my zags up canyon. Got back to the car, Hannah's sitting there. She decided to come with me, 9 months pregnant. She on sunflower seeds. She was just having a good old time, you know. And as soon as I got back, the bull was right down the bottom. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I didn't have time to go after him, but um, that was a Saturday. Anyway, some guys came up on us and tried hunting the same spot, which I was frustrated with, but it's public land, you know. Um, but him and his girlfriend and his kid came up, and I'm like, well, I got an elk for you to go after tomorrow if you want to go after him. He's down this canyon. The guy looked down, he's like, not going in that hole. I'm like, not that big of a hole. But it's kind of made me open my eyes and realize not all people go after those bugles.
Yeah.
so um so anyway, had Everly on a Saturday after a long birth. It was not the thing you want to go through as a first time father, let alone any father. But it all happened on our terms. Even though we had to go to the hospital instead of a home birth, I mean, no C-section, no nothing. So we're very grateful about that. Um, but oh shoot, low power. Anyway, very grateful about that. Um, and so the next week, my dad came up to mainly the visit. You know, just had a kid, and
Heck
in
yeah.
fact, I'm pretty surprised I haven't hurt her yet. But she's been a lot more fussy lately. um, anyway, um, so they came back. They were there for the birth, and then they came back up, and I convinced them to go hunting with me in this hole I found last year. So we hike up in this place, and right off the bat, bull bugling. And I mean, from the road, there's a bull bugling. There are a couple of trucks parked at the trailhead, so I was a little bit skeptical. But we walked to the draw anyway, and no people, no nothing. And the bull bugled again. And then it was game on, you know. I don't know if he smelt us, if he saw us, or if nothing happened. He just was wanting to work that ridge, but we never, I saw a glimpse of him, and that was the first bull I saw all season. Um, the Friday before end of season, you know. Um, and he was almost a mile off when I saw him. Nice 6 point, but um, anyway, so we get up to this point, bump a couple moose. Talon and Bronson both got to see their first moose, so that was awesome. Really nice bull, actually. Really nice bull. Um,
Is that you'd posted a picture on the Instagram? Is that those moves?
Yes, the three. So
Yeah.
so initially, the first moose we bumped, we were walking this ridge line. First moose we bumped was the calf, and I thought it was small, but it's hard to get a reference point when you're not used to hunting the species and whatnot, you know.
Oh yeah.
Um, so we bumped her, and we bumped her again. You could smell them the whole way. I mean, it was definitely a strong smell. And finally, the last time we bumped her, she came out, and I looked behind her, and I was like, "Oh, there's her mom." So I was really excited that she'll tell them the size difference and whatnot, you know. Um, and then here comes this bull, and he just swaying and doing his thing, and I'm like, "Holy crap!" So my dad starts swaying, and ooh, ooh. And then my dad finally runs at him, and he gets within 50. I mean, they're 80 yards already. I mean, they were close. And my dad runs at him, and he gets within like 40, and then they kind of move off and screw around. This whole time, there were three bulls going off below us in the canyon, and I mean, and I knew based off of how I hunted it last year that there were elk in the area, and they're bugling from the same spot, same everything. So I'm like, okay, sweet, we're gonna get on these elk. And it was right. It was about 9 o'clock when I decided to finally commit on them when the wind was starting to work better for us. And we started moving in, moving in, moving in, moving in, and I, two out of the three bulls. I think one of the bulls was on our side, but two out of three bulls were on the other side of the canyon, and it's like a canyon. So it sounded like they're just on the back side of the canyon. You know, on your side back, there's a little knoll that we had to go over, and right in there. No elk side, no nothing on our side when we got over there. So we sat on this bull. We were about 300 yards away, and he was bedded on this little knob. Um, and we sat in the bottom of the canyon on this little meadow. And we're like, we're committing to this for the night. This is, if he's got cows, they're going to come down, feed in the meadow, and do all that, you know. So we committed to that. Look, in hindsight, I think I could. It was pretty cliffy, but I think I could have snuck around the backside and popped up on him while he was bedded. If he was alone. If he wasn't, I don't know. But so anyway, but yeah, we were 3, 4 miles back there. Um, as a crow flies, or I heard this new one on a podcast as the dove flies, which is way more accurate because doves, you know. So I'm gonna steal that one from here on out. But as the dove flies, we were a lot further. But as a crow flies, we were about 3 miles in or so. And anyway, we sat till dark. Nothing happened. Walked out. It was pretty uneventful. I was pretty frustrated. So that was Friday. We were planning on hunting Saturday, but I knew. I mean, I didn't realize the toll it would take on me to be away from my daughter that long already. But it did take a toll. So um, yeah. So we came back, spent the night back home, and I was like, you know what? Conference is tomorrow. We'll go out and be back by conference. We'll go out. I got the spot. I got a deer tag that's active right now. I know there's some bucks in here. We'll go after deer in the morning. So that was our plan. Was we were going to go up to the spot about an hour from here. Sage Country Canyon. I mean Sage Canyon. So they're deep canyons. And what I didn't realize was all the aspen on the north facing slopes. It was thick, aldery junk, which is conducive for elk. So we get there and pull up my binos on this point. And I start glassing. I see nothing, nothing, nothing. And all of a sudden, holy crap! There's four elk down there. And this spot, I'll shoot any elk. It's not bull, cow. I'll shoot any elk at this
Yeah.
spot. So holy crap! There's elk right there. So about the time I said that, a bugle goes off. I'm like, holy crap! There's elk all over. And I look up, and there's a herd about 4 or 5 in the bottom with a spike. There's a herd about 7 or 8 across the way, and all I could see were cows. So I told my dad, "No, we're going. You stay here. You glass for us. Me and Bronson are dropping off. We drop off, and he texts my dad basically saying, dude, there's elk in between you and the elk you're going after. Just be aware of that. And so we were sneaking around, and I thought I saw the elk he was talking about. And they were feeding down this finger ridge, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna try to go kill those. It's last day, I mean, it's the end of archery. I do have a rifle, but it's the end of archery. So they finally go in the brush, and we take 5 more steps through this thick stuff, and crash, 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 like crap. So I start running after him, and cow call, and get to this little meadow. And as soon as I cow call, the cow stopped in the meadow. I bumped a cow and a calf. And they stopped in the meadow. And as soon as I cow called with all the commotion, the bull just rips one. And he's right on top. And about the time he rips one, here comes his antlers coming over to. He's a nice 6-point. Nice 6-point. Especially for a area that's not supposed to have elk. You know? I'm like, holy crap. Pull up range, 150 yards. I'm like, crap. He's way too far. And he doesn't know what's going on. Cow and calf, they do. But he doesn't. So I'm tucked behind a bush, and cow and calf start heading away, and the bull's still just looking straight at us. And he's not quite sure what's going on, you know? So I cow call a couple more times, and he bugles. And Bronson, lucky for me, Bronson had a phone on him, and he was able to catch a lot of this. So it's not high quality, but that video I posted on Instagram of that bull just it was awesome. So anyway, finally cows left, and he's still standing in that meadow. So I picked the bush, and as soon as he turned his head, he turned his head and he started going. I hurried and hustled and got to the last bush I could see. And I just sat there and cow called, and he wouldn't commit. He knew something was up, and he wouldn't commit, and just sat there and sat there and sat there. So finally, he started walking away, and then turned broadside. Well, while I was starting to walk away, I just stepped out ranged. And remember when I said 120-yard hang time is a long time? I ranged 120. I'm like, holy crap. Okay, if it's perfect. If it's perfect. So I'm like, okay, if it's perfect, I'm gonna. So I set my pin to 100 because I knew it wouldn't mess with my arrow flight. And it's a slider pin. So I set my pin to 100, draw back, settle in, feel good. And my mistake was he started leaning, and I was like, okay, now's my time. Settled my pin on his back because I figured worst case it's gonna go under him. So I settled it on. Well, in the time I decided to pull a trigger, that movement of just him going and the sound of the bow, dude, he was long gone by the time the arrow got to him. So, but that arrow flew true. It was like it would have been maybe a little bit back, but still in lungs, you know, just. So I wasn't too upset about that. I got up on him and ended up 40 yards from cows, and anyway, we left him for the day. Went listen to conference, and sorry, I need to check one thing. All right, I'm gonna take a
No, you're
time out
good.
real quick. I need to get my phone plugged in, or else it's gonna die.
No, you're good. Um, are we cutting this little part out?
What was that?
Are we cutting this little part out?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, we might have to get back tomorrow to do the intro.
Yeah. No, it's been a long.
My wife being a punk.
No, that's just fine with me. So, I'm gonna do the intro for the other one anyway. So,
Yeah, perfect.
anyway, all right. What time is it? 1:09, 20. I'm going to do 1:09:30.
Yeah.
All right, and we're back. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that my phone was almost dead. Not almost dead. It's just, yeah. You guys know the drill. So anyway, um, so yeah, we went back that evening and went. I wanted to get the wind right, so we started bailing off this point. Ended up being someone over there, so we had to change our plans. Which, lucky for us, it was the right move. Um, and started hiking down to these bedding areas where I thought they'd be, um, and started chirping and whatnot. I looked down the very bottom. There's a pond in the very bottom of this ravine, canyon, whatever you want to call it. So I looked down the very bottom, and there's the bull. What I thought was the bull. It wasn't. I think that bull left town. Um, there was a bull down there, 5 Point, and a bunch of cows. I'm like, okay, here we go. As soon as and I was stuck in the open, we were stuck in the open, so we gave some time, and all of a sudden there's a bull bugling down below us. And then when he bugled, cows chirped too. So it was really fishy, and I thought it might have been a hunter. So I didn't pay any attention to it, and I just took off. Well, my brother-in-law and my dad stuck around a little bit longer because, let's face it, they're not as fast as me and me and Bronson when we're on an elk. So, I know nothing bad against Dano or my dad. It's just I was ready,
Oh
So
yeah.
we took off, trying to get ahead of these elk, and they ended up seeing the big bull that we were after, and he had a nasty sounding bugle. Um, so anyway, we ended up going and we looped around, followed the rim, dropped down the canyon, and there was a split in the canyon. And they went up the other side, so we had to go down and up and down. It's not a very big canyon. It's barely a canyon. I call it a ravine. I mean, you could shoot
Yeah.
across it with a rifle. So down and up, we started bailing off, and all of a sudden I look up and there's cows on the horizon. Like crap, they're starting to wrap around already, and we're in a terrible spot. So we had to wait on those cows. Finally, went behind some bushes and whatnot. Um, and they're on this fence line. This is an important part of the next part of the story, but they're on the fence line, just kind of chilling up there on the top. Um, so anyway, we wrapped around, and as soon as we started coming up over, we bumped a deer, a little buck. I'm like, crap. And I took 2 more steps, bumped 4 elk. I'm like, screw this. I ripped out the meanest bugle, just screaming, and just started running. And ran smack dab in the middle of the herd. They're just right there. Like crap. I could have shot a couple cows, but I mean I was on bold mode at that point. And so we got down to the bottom and got to the last opening, and they're starting to head up. I'm like, well, crap, this is probably over. And all the while, a spike was way down the ridge, and he started wrapping around. And Wyoming, it's any elk in this unit. And so I was thinking, well, spike might not be that bad. So we started heading up. I called my dad, let him know what's going on because we were still chasing the herd. I was like, I know it's a big basin over here. We'll at least see where they go, and I can maybe come back with a rifle. So we go up in the basin, and they disappeared. They ended up going in the thick trees and just stopping. But as soon as we got up to the top, there's that spike sitting at 80 yards. I'm on the phone with my dad. I'm like, we're chasing these elk right now, and this is what's going on, but I got a spike that I might shoot, so I'll talk to you later. I was sitting there like, if he lets me get to 70, I'll shoot him. And he didn't let me get to 70, but we were wide open, so it was a Hail Mary.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, go over top, hear the elk in the trees. I'm like, you know what? We're running out of daylight. Let's just go back. I don't want to push these out of here. Um, and in that time frame, the elk actually bumped a really nice buck out of the tree. So like, I got really excited about that buck. I'm like, shoot, rifle season starts tomorrow. I'm not going to hunt tomorrow, but rifle season starts tomorrow. I'll come back Monday and we'll see what happens. So anyway, we're hiking out on the fence line, and those 4 elk that we saw on the horizon that we thought were with the herd wrapping around, they were right on the fence line. So I'm like, whew, range them 8 yards. Yeah, no, not too far. So I started crawling. I had Bronson. I said, Bronson, you stay back here and film when you can. So I started crawling and ended up getting to at least 40. But so I looked up the legal time, and it was like 7:30 something. So I was keeping track of the time, and but it was getting dark pretty fast. So I finally stopped ranging because I couldn't see through my rangefinder. Again, it was legal shooting light. I know it was. I was keeping track of it. Um, but I knew it was 40 yards. It had to be at least 40 yards. Or 50 yards, I mean, sorry. Because the last range I got was 60 before I got too close. So anyway, I was like, it's got to be at least 50. It may be closer even. And so I stood up, drew back, and there was a calf quartering away, and then a cow. And I couldn't quite get the cow's vitals because the calf's butt was right over him. So I
Mhm.
was like, I don't want to shoot a calf quartering away at this distance right now. Man, it's probably an okay shot, but I don't want to shoot through the fence and risk that. So I let down. And then this cow comes and its nose is touching the fence. So I draw back, saddle my pin, and let her fly. And that arrow went right over her back and disappeared forever. But when I shot, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear any sort of hit of anything. So when I shot, I was, but she jumped the fence and face planted. So I was like, holy crap, she's gonna die right there. And then she runs and stops, and I'm like, nope, nope. And I watched her and looked for blood and nothing. So I know I just shot right over top of her. But anyway, that was my archery hunt wrapped up in the last day was pretty fun. And look, in hindsight, I should have spent more time in that area, but next year I will for sure find some more elk in there. So a lot of my coworkers show me pictures of some of the bulls I've taken out in the area, and they're okay for me.
Heck yeah.
But so anyway, Sunday was the first opening day for rifle. I sat that one out as much as I knew I could have killed the bull that morning, and even though I didn't get the okay, I did get the, you know what, my point of view on it, but if you want to do it for my wife. I'm like, dang it, I'm just gonna not risk it. So I sat it out, went back Monday morning, um, the exact same spot. Took my father-in-law and went down, and it was a rainy morning, so my favorite time to hunt. We actually got snow a little bit, um, and we started working these finger ridges, and I hiked down this ridge and realized I was on the wrong ridge. Dropped down, hiked back up, met up with my father-in-law, and he said, I'm just going to start heading back up. His knees aren't the best. And it was a drop. We dropped probably 1,200 feet or so within a mile. So it's not terrible, but it's consistent all the way up.
Yeah.
Um, so he started heading up, and I was like, I got a feeling. I really want to go look for this buck. I mean, he really got me going. So I really want to go look for him. So I hiked over to where I last saw the elk and buck, and was ridge hopping, looking on this side, looking on that side, looked on this side, looked on that side, and I was looking on the side, looking back to where I had all my action the day before, or the Saturday before, and didn't see anything in there. And all of a sudden, I heard a shot, right back where I last saw the elk and the big buck. I'm like, crap, someone shot him. Dang it, dang it. So my curiosity got the best of me. I peeked up and over and didn't see anything. I'm like, I know they shot. I know something should be moving right now, but it's not. So I started working back up and over to go look on the other side, and I'm caught out in the middle of the sage flat. There's a little knob and the little saddle underneath me, and all I see are elk heads just running through. And I couldn't tell what they were at first, but I knew they were animals running through. So I threw my pack down, ran a couple hundred yards, or not 100 yards, ran a couple yards, threw my pack down, got my bipod out, got set up, round in the chamber because at this point I'm shooting anything. Um, I yeah, at this point I'm shooting anything, any elk, and so yeah, the elk come running through and they stop about 200 yards or so. I mean, they were close enough for a rifle. Um, and I looked through my scope and I'm like, it's a little bit blurry from all the rain, so I had to scrub it a little bit, but I looked through my scope and I'm like, well, you know what? A calf would be a real easy pack out from here. So I had my crosshairs on the cow. I'm like, ah, moved down to the calf, center punched her. I mean, she died on within 10 feet, just piled up. Walked down there and looked up, and there were the rest of the herd running. And I didn't see the bulls that morning, but I did see the spike. And I was thinking I could have shot the spike if I would have waited. But again, situation, the calf was the best option. And honestly, we have ground meat from last year, so we have everything we need. I still have room for a deer, so dumped her, and that was kind of it for my elk hunt. Looking back, I don't know if I wanted to end my elk hunt that early, but a bird in the hand is a lot better. So,
Heck yeah. A lot better. I mean, heck, you're
but
sitting better than me.
well, I don't know. You had a better archery season,
The
but
experience was better, but
no,
nothing in my freezer.
yeah, yeah, that is true. Um, but no, that was fun, fun, fun. Um, Ended up going out a couple times. Took my coworker um, on his first hunt ever. I don't know about ever, but his first time he's ever held a tag, and it was right after work. We had to go get the tag. We had to fill out paperwork because it doesn't have a fire safety. But Wyoming, they have a pretty cool mentorship program. So anyway, we had to get all that paperwork done. By the time we got to the mountain, we had probably an hour of daylight, and we started looking, and I looked down, and probably 400 or 500 yards past where I shot my cow, here comes some elk running across the top with the 5-point bow on it. Like, whew. I looked at my coworker. I'm like, "What do you think?" He's like, "Dude, that bull's huge. Do you want? That's a 1.5 mile run. Do you want to go do that?" He's like, "Dude, let's send it. This is 45 minutes before daylight. 1.5 mile drop." And when we decided to stop or start going, they kind of stopped and started milling around. So they kind of found their safety net. So we just bailed, dropped all the way down again, and um, it was a run. Ended up getting almost as far as we wanted before daylight, but not quite as far as we wanted. And then we ran out of light, and it was just that. So we went back. I think it was the next day, last day of deer season in this unit, and I was focused on deer. I was hoping we'd get someone an elk, but I was focused on deer. So I talked to my boss. I'm like, I'm going out this day. If you want to go, you can come. And I talked to my coworker, and so I was the only one that had rifles at the time. My boss's dad took his or had his, and he was already out hunting. Um, so we dropped down, and I glassed up a legal buck. It's had to be a 3-pointer better in this unit this year. I glassed up a legal buck, and I told my boss, I'm like, dude, legal buck, do you want to go after him? He's like, sure, let's go. And we drop down, 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 and get finally see him. And I realize there's 2 bucks. One of them might be legal, and one of them's definitely legal, but none of them are a caliber I want to shoot.
Yeah.
So we drop down and start crawling towards them. I checked him. Do you want to shoot one of these? He's like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I just want meat. I'm like, okay, because he just had a kid too. So anyway, we end up crawling in to 450 yards. Get him set up on my rifle, dial it in, and get it on safety. And luckily, he doesn't listen to this podcast because I'm going to throw him under the bus just a little bit. But and if he does, yeah, it's funny. So he had it on safety. He didn't realize it was on safety, because my gun has 2 clicks for safety, and he only moved it forward the first click. So he got on that deer. I kid you not. That first time he was ready to shoot, it was, ugh. I'm like, oh no. Like it was a, ugh. And he jerked like a son of a gun. I'm like, oh no, dude. It's a 450-yard shot. You got to kind of trust the trigger, you know? And so he takes off safety, and I have it all on phone scope. And the first shot, I have no idea where it went. I know he jerked, and he said he jerked. So he jerked. Holy crap, dude, you jerked bad. He's still standing there, though. And so we had a little bit of issues with the bolt. My bolt doesn't like. But yeah, I love using my rifle, but other people can't use it as well as I can. So, anyway, I had an issue with the bolt, so it took a little while to get the second shot off, but that second shot just drilled him. And we ended up with the deer down. And it was probably 2 miles from that point to the rig. Shot him at last legal light, you know. Not last legal light because I had time to run around and try to find my buck, but never did find him. But yeah, that was that was just a fun hunt. So taught them how to
Gee,
do the gut lift method, and didn't get home until midnight. So, but
break, yeah, dude.
no,
No, that's awesome.
yeah, I mean my deer tag as of now, but um, Sunday starts a new season up north. It's about a 3-hour drive to where I want to go. So I'm gonna take off at least one day next week and try go. And in this particular unit, there are whitetail. So I might, if I see any whitetail, I might shoot it. And what's legal is any whitetail. So
Heck yeah.
um, we'll see. But yeah, that's my season wrapped up right there. I mean, I hunted a lot more and a lot less than I thought. I, if that makes sense. So I didn't think I'd be able to hunt archery like I was able to finish out archery. Um, and my wife, bless her heart, she let me go out. I mean, a week after we had our kid, our little girl. So, um, yeah, I let me. She did have a lot of support here, and I wouldn't have left her without support here. I mean, she had my family and her mom, and so we were good. We were covered on all those bases. But I just super grateful for her. So,
Break, yeah.
but, but yeah, so hopefully we'll have some more stories. Rifle season's coming up, so the other guys will have time to hop on. Hopefully,
Yeah, end of the
um,
month, I'm going with Hunter and both my parents after deer. They've got
yeah.
tags. I'll see if I can pick one up by then.
Never know. You can pick one up in the middle of the season, dude. That
I'll take
Tuesday
it.
or Wednesday, I guess. I haven't had any
I,
luck left, but
I'll
you
take
never
it if I can.
know. Heck yeah.
Well,
But yeah, I'm still looking to. But I'm gonna be. Yeah. I'm looking for the third season because Tracers has the whole week. My uncle has the whole week. I have the whole week. And my dad has Monday, Tuesday, and we're gonna have 2 elk tags and 3 deer tags.
yeah,
So,
I think
yeah.
that's where we're sitting too. I think it's 2 elk tags and 3 deer.
Is Hunter picking up an elk tag, or is your
I
mom and
think
dad?
so. I
Gotcha.
think my dad and Hunter.
It's a good tag to have.
Yeah, I mean we may
So,
as well.
well, I've seen him in
We've
that where Bronson shot his bull. I've seen him an elk in there every year.
Yeah, I've seen elk every year we've been in there.
So it'll be an interesting.
Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah, 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 me too. Oh yeah, we've got more hunts coming up, and we'll keep you guys updated as we can. Just know for the next little bit, it's probably going to still be a little scarce. But yeah, I know it's weird. Yeah, oh heck yeah. But yeah, we'll keep you guys updated and look forward to hopping back on again. We'll have more to tell. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, we do. We thank you all for watching or listening or whatever you do, following us. Go like, follow, subscribe to all we've got, Instagram, YouTube, we're on Spotify, all the good stuff. So we thank you guys and look forward to next time. Right on, we'll see you.